session. So what we do is I have a video I recorded a couple of sessions ago that does a pretty good job explaining at a high level sort of value proposition of what we offer as a business, Art Storefronts. It'll cover the software, the marketing, and sort of everything in between. And it does a pretty good job at answering most people's questions, or at least a portion of them. So we'll go ahead and play that. It'll kind of give you a good idea for people who are still wondering, like, well, I don't even really understand what you guys do. So that's what that video is there to address. After that's done, we get into the best part of the session, which is the Q&A. And I'll show you guys there's ways where you can either raise your hand visually or digitally, or you can throw questions in the chat. For the people that are watching the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you can leave questions there and I'll answer them. And, you know, I always say this on the sessions, but I've been doing digital marketing for selling art and photography for a long time now, seen a lot of things over those years. We have in upwards of, I think, like 5,100 customers, somewhere around there now. And I get a look at all their analytics and data, so pretty good idea of what's working in today's day and age and actually selling art and photography. So in addition to that, I run 3 of these sessions a week, and I usually have 2 a week with my customers. And so I don't think it's hyperbole to say I'd probably take more Q&A from artists and photographers on a week in, week out basis than probably just about anybody on the planet. So love to hear where you are in your business, what's working, what's not working, what would you like to improve, and see how I can help you. Maybe you've got questions about pricing or markups or niche selection or shipping, or, you know, should you outsource your printing, or price points, or Facebook and Instagram ads, or, you know, what should you worry about SEO? You have multiple different styles. You can't figure out what niche to pick. I literally heard it all, seen it all, and love talking about it, and really want to help you in your business, whether you ever become a customer or not. And if you've got questions about anything that we do, of course, those are on the table as well. And I'd love to just have a good, lively discussion after the fact. So we'll go ahead and play the video now, and then I'll see you guys in a few minutes after, and we'll get into your questions. All right. This is the homepage I'm talking about that we just recently redid, and I think it does a really good job articulating sort of who we are, what we do at a very high level. And if you scroll down the page, there's a bunch of videos of me explaining a whole bunch of things, everything that we do from top to bottom. But our tagline, which states everything that you need to start, run, and grow a successful art business, really does sum up what we do. You know, we get pigeonholed as they're a website company. They're a website company. And yes, we do offer websites, but it is a tiny, tiny portion of what we do. Ultimately, we learned a couple of years ago, the hard way, by the way, if we are going to grow and be successful as a business, Art Storefronts, that is 100% dependent, surprise this one, but on how successful our customers are, on how much art and photography our customers are selling on a yearly basis. And so when you look at that as the problem that we're solving, it becomes so much more than a website, because a website is not enough. But still, we're going to talk about the website. I'm going to get into the other layers as we go down. So it does indeed all start with the website. I will pull one up because it'll make it more interactive. And, you know, anyone that's been attempting to sell art or photography for any period of time, and I'll use Bono today, they know one thing conclusively: selling art in an e-commerce capacity digitally online is not like selling other items. It's not like selling swim fins or ladies' handbags or electric scooters or bicycles or anything else, right? Buying art, okay, and buying art online is A, an extremely visual process, and B, an extremely friction-filled process. And what do I mean by friction? I mean, friction is all of the various different things, okay, that will prevent a visitor to your website from turning into a buyer, okay? And so really, everything that we do with our software is attempt to solve for this friction, okay? To solve for the friction, to solve for how important the visual aspects are towards selling art and photography online. And, you know, it's never any one feature. It's all of the features working together. It can be little things like when you select a media type, which is canvas, it changes to a canvas, a gallery wrapped canvas. Most people don't even know what a canvas is. And so we've developed special videos that show the differences, the nuances in the real world, what an actual canvas print looks like, what's going to show up at their house, what are the high points of this one, how is canvas different than metal. Oops, I missed a click on that. And so you can see what a metal print looks like and how it's sitting flat, eventually how it's hanging up, all the nuances, the intricacies, because it is such a visual process buying art. We have a feature called the wall preview, which allows you to cycle through various different room types. Again, such a visual process buying art. Not only can you circle through the different room types, and yes, you can add your own room type images in. We use some generic ones by design, and you can size pieces up and down, see what it's going to look like. Do I need a 36 by 49? Is that too big? Do I instead want a 28 by 38? We're making it easier for your potential customer to get to a buying decision. What if they want to, their walls aren't white, right? What if they're this ugly color? Or there's something a little bit darker. Is the piece going to look good with this color, right? Because again, buying art is just such an incredibly visual process. Another feature that everybody likes to talk about that we get a lot of plaudits for is we have this feature. Excuse me, mute that. Called Live Preview with AR. Okay, and what this is this allows somebody to come to your website with their telephone, can be iPhone or Android. You can see the phones here on the right-hand side. And without downloading any apps, they can just use their phone, their camera, and press one button on your website that says Live Preview. And what this is going to do, it's going to take the camera on their phone, okay, which is going to show the real room, the real wall, where the art will potentially go. And then it takes your piece in augmented reality and it projects it onto the wall. And you're able to move it around with your finger. You're able to size it up, size it down, take screenshots. And so is it going to look great in the room? What size do I need to get, right? And so, again, this is attempting to solve for the visual friction of, I don't know if it's going to work in my room. I don't know what it's going to look like, right? It's just getting them one step closer to a buying decision, removing the friction from the process. And, I've been doing e-commerce marketing, digital marketing my entire life. Everyone loves to gravitate towards the wall preview or the live preview with AR. But the reality is when you do this for any period of time, it's not about one individual feature. It's about all the features working in conjunction, and you never know which one's going to end up, if we think of a sports analogy like a basketball team, it's how many players you have on the court that can contribute, right, to eventually scoring that basket. And so it's why we do the demo process. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of features, all to remove the friction, all to help you get better at selling art and photography online. And when you request one of these things, our outreach team will reach out, have a conversation with you, and schedule it. It goes like an hour and 10 minutes, and we just go through feature after feature after feature. So it's not about any one of them. It's about all of them working in conjunction. Independent of that, let's keep working down the page. So we also have a ton of back-end software. It turns out running an art business, art photography business, there's a ton of individual little nuance and things that can slow you down, okay? Things like uploading an image and how many images do you have to upload to your webpage for all the various different media sizes and types you have. It's very helpful to be able to just upload one, have all the sizes auto-populate for you, and tell you exactly what you can sell. Things like markups. How do you set markups? Can you do it globally? Can you do it per media type, right? And so no one likes to talk about the back-end features, but we have a slew of those as well, all there to make your life easier, to give you time back, okay? Let's talk about our fulfillment. And we love talking about this. This is in our company DNA pretty significantly, but I'll pull up a website. So we're on Bill Stidham's site. Or I should probably start here, actually. So we are integrated. Well, let me start here. You can have it any which way you like. If you're an artist that just does originals and you get orders, obviously you're going to be responsible for fulfilling the originals because you have them. If you're an artist that has a local printer or a photographer that has a local printer, you really like using your printer, you can use your printer. The orders come in, you send the order to your printer. We call that self-fulfillment, no problem. What we recommend our customers do, though, is integrate with one of our print partners, and I'll get into the reasons why. But we've got Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast. We've got Bay Photo on the West Coast. We've got Print Partner for our customers in Canada. And then we just recently integrated with a company called Guten that handles the merchandise, and I'll get into that in a second. How does it work? You sign up, you get your site set up, which usually takes 14 days or less. You click a button that says, I want to integrate with this print partner. An order comes into the website. The printer gets paid. You get paid. The order gets printed. The order gets boxed. Your logo goes on the side of the box. Boom, it ships to the customer. You touch absolutely nothing. There's nothing you have to touch, nothing you have to do. All happens automatically. And again, it's to give you back that amount of time. And, no one has time in today's day and age to be dealing with the admin, okay? Any time that you spend on the admin, by which I mean sending the order to your local printer, checking on the proof, sending tracking numbers, did it ship, any of that correspondence, all of that, if you're spending your time on that, is time you are not spending on your biggest problem, which is your marketing. So we really believe like streamlining sort of this drop shipping, print on demand, automated fulfillment is a very, very wise decision if you want to create successful artists and photographers. Now, just recently, this was probably like a month before Christmas, maybe, we integrated with a company called Guten. And what it allows our customers to do is sell merchandise of a myriad of different kinds. Hoodies, iPhone cases, tank tops. They can come in, adjust the image exactly how they want to see it. Maybe they want to tilt it depending on what case it is, and get iPhone cases and a number of different other items. We've got throw pillows and I clicked out of it, and coffee mugs, and we're adding more and more and more and more of these. And on the subject of merch, we realize, again, if you go back to our original mission, why we exist, we need to create a set of circumstances, a set of conditions such that the artist, the photographer, can make and grow as successful a business as they want. And so some artists look at this merch and they're like, they turn their noses up at it and like, that's not fine art. Why would I ever want to do that? Some are like, I'm all in, I love it. We don't care. Our job is to provide as many different opportunities for artists and photographers to be successful as possible. And we've been totally blown away by how much of this stuff actually, believe it or not, sells. And some of it is higher margin than you would think. Like a throw pillow is $44, and what does a tote bag cost? I think a tote bag costs $38. So sell it or not, you have every opportunity imaginable available to you. If you want to have it all, in kind of like Bill does here on his site, where you have your fine art media types across the top, and then you have the merch all in one product page, great. If you want to have individual items in the store, you want to have your artwork, fine, and then you just want to have a line of phone cases. If you want to have one for a couple of weeks and then turn it off, you can do any and all of that, and it's one click to turn it on at any point in time. It's automated. It's completely automated in terms of fulfillment, and that's not going to change. And we realize, again, like, artists and photographers are essentially just creators, right? You're just creators, and you have a talent. You have a talent with a brush, or you have a talent with the lens. You want to monetize that talent, okay? So again, our job is to give you as many different opportunities to be able to monetize that talent as possible. So that's how we go about it. And again, it's a debate about when to use it or when not. But somebody on one of these sessions earlier was like, who's the greatest rock band of all time? I was like, no, who? He's like, the Rolling Stones. He goes, guess what the Rolling Stones have at their concerts? I said, what? A giant booth for merch. He's like, they sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of it a year. If the Stones sell it, I'll sell it. So anyway, I thought that kind of stuck with me. It was fun. So that's our print fulfillment. And I should say too that we're adding calendars, and we're adding puzzles, and we are adding photo books. And to be honest with you, if they come out with a line of hot air balloons, we'll add hot air balloons too, right? Because again, it's creating a set of circumstances such that the artist and photographer can be successful. We don't care where the success comes from. I don't care if Brian gets into business and he's the number one iPhone selling case guy of the entire United States. He's got a successful business, right? So not for us to decide. Support. We believe we have best-in-class support. If you took a look at our Facebook ads and you scrolled through the 350 of them, you'll see more positive responses for the support than just about anything else. We're very, very good at this. Yes, it's in all the venues you think it is: email, phone, chat support. But in addition to that, kind of what I'm most proud about is we run 6 days a week, including Saturdays, Zoom sessions, just like the one you're on right now, okay? And you can pop into one at any point in time with any support-related issue and get fixed, get unstuck. There's screen shares. They can take over control of your computer and just get you sorted instantaneously. So we're very, very good at it. Not only do we support our application, we ask you guys, we teach you guys marketing all year long, which I'll get into in a second. What if you're having a problem with Facebook or with Instagram or with MailChimp or with your Facebook ads? We actually support that too. You can pop into a Zoom session and say, hey, Patrick, I'm stuck on my Facebook ads. I'm getting this message. Can you help me? And our team will get you unstuck. That's an amazing thing. There's not many companies that do that, so I'm very, very proud about that. That's in terms of the overall website picture. And we essentially do all of that, okay, to give you your time back such that you can work on the biggest problem that every single solitary person on this Zoom call has, which is the marketing problem. You need to get better at it. And let me tell you, I've got 4,700 customers, and there's only one universal truth about every one of them, right? every niche imaginable, every subject matter all over this country and others. Every one of them has a marketing problem. The person that just passed $500,000 a year in sales has a marketing problem. They want to grow that business, they have a marketing problem. The person that just is getting started, sold their first piece, they have a marketing problem, and everybody in between, right? It is the biggest problem. And so, we want to create successful customers. We realize we need to teach artists and photographers how to market. And so how did we solve for that particular problem? We created collectively what might as well be called the Art Business University. That's how we look at it, because I'm not sure there's a better term to explain it. One, we have the best digital education that exists in terms of selling art and photography online, full stop. I'm hang my hat on this. We have detailed documentation that we call playbooks on every marketing facet imaginable. How to run an email campaign, how to run a Black Friday sale, how to go live on Instagram, how to go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, how to go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time with your laptop on a cell phone. Detailed, step-by-step, audio, video, screenshot documentation. If we're asking you to send emails, we will give you the email copy. You just adjust it to taste for what you're doing. So the playbooks are incredible. They're very robust, and they're very focused on teaching you how to market. We pair that with a 365-day-a-year marketing calendar, okay? It has on it beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You take on what you can take on. You're never not knowing what you need to be doing on a week in, week out basis. You start doing, first, you're overwhelmed. You're like, I've never done this. This is crazy. How am I going to survive? And then you fight through it, and you got through the beginner level. And then you take on the intermediate, and then you take on the advanced. The majority of our customers follow this doggone near verbatim year in, year out, because it works. It's effective. Not only does it tell you what to do, but it solves for one of the other greatest pandemic of our lifetime, the shiny object syndrome, okay? Not only does the calendar tell you what to do, it tells you what not to do, okay? What not to be spending your time on, right? And how do I know this? One, I'm very good at digital marketing. Two, we have 4,700 customers, and I get to see all of their data. I can tell everyone on this call conclusively, out of the 4,700 customers that I have not seen anyone turn a positive ROI at marketing on Pinterest. No one is making any money from marketing on Pinterest. So I'm going to tell you, you don't have to worry about Pinterest. I see you laughing, Mary. I do not want you spending any time on Pinterest, period. Waste of time. So too with SEO, okay? So the calendar is equally powerful on what you need to focus on is what you ignore, okay? Is what you ignore, and that's a big deal. Number 3 of the Art Business University is what we call office hours, okay? We take the entire customer base, we split it into 3. Until you sell $2,000 directly on your website, you're in the traction group. And after you sold $2,000 on your website, you're in the ramping group. After you sold a much higher revenue threshold that we don't publish, you get in the advanced group, which we call growth. We hold week in, week out, every single solitary week, and we took 1 week off for New Year's, but essentially 48, 49 weeks a year. Zoom calls like this. You come on a weekly basis. It's either me or members of my team. We go over the playbooks. We go over the calendars. We talk about wins. How somebody landed an interior decorator and sold $35,000 worth. They're going to come on and tell their story. Not only are they going to come on and tell their story, they're going to say, here's the email that did it. Here's the copy. Here's the Facebook post, and you can go and look at that stuff, right? And you're learning in concert with your peers. Digital online education is not enough, okay? If you look at the stats out there, I don't care who it is, Kajabi or Masterclass or lynda.com, 30% of the people that buy those courses actually finish them. So we can't just have digital education. We have to have in-person teaching sessions, and everyone knows how to Zoom now. It's our new reality. So those sessions, which we started like, I think 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of the pandemic, have been the single solitary biggest fundamental change to our business we've ever had. If before the pandemic, I had 100 customers, and I told those 100 customers via email, guys, Black Friday's coming. You got to get going on your sale. Here's the playbook, right? And then I recorded a podcast episode, and I was like, we're going to do this. 35 out of the 100 would take action. After these video sessions where I'm able to go through things, people are able to ask their questions, raise their hands, get unstuck, learn your peers, I have 75 people taking action on that sale, and it's fundamentally changing the business. It is making our customers more successful, more accountable, actually staying focused. Like, look, you guys are all solopreneurs for the most part. I mean, we could pull this entire group, and not a lot of you guys have a big team. You don't have an office behind you where you're yelling at an intern to help you out. You are a solopreneur, okay? You know, myself, the CEO, we've been entrepreneurs our entire life. I know it's a roller coaster. I know there's highs and the lows. When you're on those lows, you need a kick in the pants, right? You need to be lifted up sometimes. And that's what these Zoom sessions do too, which is incredible. We follow it up with a Facebook group that is highly curated. Okay. There's no trolls. There's no nonsense in there, right? You've seen some of the other groups out there online and how ridiculous it gets in those things. And artists are sharing with other artists. Photographers are sharing with other photographers. The people that are in the landscape niche are talking to others in the landscape niche. Hey guys, what do you think of this new direction? What did you use in terms of pricing? They're publishing their wins. And so sometimes you can't just hear it from us, the official company mouthpiece. And so it's nice to have a whole bunch of people that are doing the same journey at the same time, helping each other out, sharing, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? So that collectively is the Art Business University. And it's like a college. It really is. And the difference is you pay your tuition, you come in, and there's no graduates because the learning never stops, right? And, in addition to that, it never will stop. In today's digital marketing landscape, the goalposts are just constantly moving, right? Like so quickly. You feel like you just learned something and it moves over here. So we keep you up to date with all of that. As a final, about 6 months ago, or maybe 5 months ago now, we started an in-house marketing agency. And it's an in-house marketing agency that only does one thing. It helps artists and photographers sell more art online and off. And we believe already, as of today's date, it's the biggest sole-focused art and photography marketing agency in the world. And that's not hyperbole. I've been asking on these calls, can someone name me an agency that specializes only in helping artists and photographers sell their work? I haven't found one. No one's ever put one in the chat for me, especially not a big one. Why? Because my aforementioned point, selling art and photography is not like selling swim fins or ladies' handbags or scooters. It's hard, right? It's really hard. And we're good at it because we've been working at it for a long time. Also, I get upset, right? Because I look at all of you guys as like, you own a McDonald's, right? And if you owned a McDonald's, you have to know how to do the ordering. You have to know how to clean the floors. You have to know how to open the building. You have to know how to operate the drive-through window. You have to be able to flip burgers and fries and do all of that and do the ordering, right? Like it's your business. You need to understand those things. But at the same time, I'm not naive in the sense that 80% of our customers still have full-time jobs or in some capacity. Maybe they're service-based photographers and they're trying to sell their fine art. So I get it. You need to be able to have the ability. If you don't have the time to do the marketing and you have the resources, you need a la carte things that you can jump off the shelf. Hey guys, I need my Instagram profile tuned up. I need my Facebook page tuned up. I need to help with a sales campaign. You need to be able to do that sometimes. In addition to things like we'll completely build your website for you. You don't want to do that. You hate building websites. Your fears in life in order are death, taxes, and building another website. I get that, right? So you can drop your images in a folder. Tell us to build the site. We'll build the site for you, okay? We'll manage your Facebook ads, okay? We will manage all of your social posting. And again, it goes back to the top premise. Like our job is to create successful customers. And so we looked at it 6 months ago and it's like, we need to have an agency. And then some people are like, well, I want to do it myself. Fantastic. Our job is to have the best DIY product, do it yourself, learn, come on the sessions, and then also have an agency where you can pay. And again, it's a la carte or it's, up to almost full service. And the amazing thing about it is, I've been doing marketing a long time, right? What do all marketers love? A case study. Oh, we love a case study, right? With the sexy data about this huge win, and we publish it on social media and we use it for lead generation. So totally did that all the time. Okay. Guilty, and if you lose, you don't publish it, right? You wait till you hit a winner and do all that. But it used to be, I would go and run a case study with a customer and, I'd have limited bandwidth to do that. And then we would build the playbooks. Well, guess what I have now? I've got agency staff. I've got one guy that all he does all day long is spruce up Instagram pages for artists and photographers. He did 65 of them last week, or probably 65 last month. So imagine the learnings that we're getting. What happens is the learnings are going right back into the playbooks, and then they're coming onto the Zoom sessions and they're teaching, and we've got a little flywheel going on, right? We've got a little artist and photographer education flywheel. So it doesn't matter if you ever order a single solitary service from the agency, and we don't even care if the agency ever makes any money, in all honesty, because all it does is just improves the product, makes more successful customers, and helps us grow. So we really, at the end of the day, are fundamentally a business that can be thought of as a rowboat, right? It takes our oar, your oar, we jump in the boat in the same time, and if we can get that thing rowing in the same direction, the faster we can get that going, the better everybody does. So that's Art Storefronts in a nutshell. That's my presentation. Okay, so that's the intro video, and we've made a ton of progress even just since recording that video, and we're taking this whole art business university concept really to the next level. And it's like, how many of you guys had art degrees or went to college and there were 0 classes on how to actually grow a sustainable art business or how to profit or how to market in art business, right? Like, it's one of those topics that's just not been covered. So we're delving into it. We're trying to cover it in like a fundamental way, every which way imaginable. And one of the other interesting things too is that I think 5,100 customers, something like that, and we've got some customers that are subject material experts in their own domains, and so we've started having them teach sessions as well that end up in the Art Business University. So we have one gal that is a licensing specialist. She's managed to license college mascots and sell extreme amounts of art as a result of it. And so she's teaching a class on how you do that. How do you get the license? How do you negotiate? What are the terms? What do the deal looks like? We've got another gentleman who's a landscape photographer, Southwestern style, and he is the master of getting his art into banks, getting big purchases from banks and other large commercial vendors like that. And so he teaches classes on how to go about that, how to pitch those deals. And there's just, there's so much content out there on how to get better at your craft, and so little content out there on how to actually build a sustainable business, how to make it profitable, how to grow it, how to handle the various different marketing aspects, how to run a sale, how to think about pricing strategies and discounting and negotiation and live art shows and all these other things. So we're really pleased about that. And we fundamentally are a business that will die or make it based 100% on how successful our customers are. So we know whatever it takes to make our customers successful is literally what we have to do. And so it's the primary focus of everything that we do. So, okay, on that note, I'm going to turn it or open it up for questions. How do you ask a question? There's like a participants bar at the bottom in Zoom. And if you click on that, it gives you the ability to raise your hand, digitally speaking. It just lets me know you have a question. You're up next in the queue. If you're one of the ones that's brave and has your camera on and you want to do the old school wave, I will see that. So I can ask that way. If you don't want to have your camera on, no worries at all. Totally get it. I hate being on video, so I understand. You can just do the questions via audio, and then obviously you can throw them into the chat. I will answer those. And then also on the social media, if you guys are watching any of the streams, I always answer those questions as well. So, okay, where to get started? So, Constance, your hand is up yet first, so I'm going to start with you. Greg, I'll come back to your marketing questions in just a second. So, go ahead, Constance. You'll have to hit the mic icon. It's in the bottom left-hand corner of Zoom. I'll let you know when you get it. And what will happen is it'll show you that your mic is unmuted. So, are you there, Constance? It's like the little microphone icon. Yep, gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Okay, I'm brand new, not to the art part, but to actually producing it for marketing purposes.
Okay.
My idea is I invest in real estate.
Okay.
And so I'm entering into the Airbnb market. So I'm doing that and furnishing my Airbnbs. So part of the furnishing it is my artwork.
Yep.
And photography perhaps, but I don't know that part of reproducing the artwork and the photography, because the theme is it's in different locations in the United States, and it's to do with the environment and the things I know really, really well. And anyway, so an example would be I take really good photographs of the Carlsbad State Beach over in California. I have a house there, and I want to blow up these photographs to cover a whole wall. I've seen it before, and it looks really cool. You have like the ocean and the beach on a wall. Do you have contacts or a way of networking so I can easily get a hold of people who could take my images and blow it up to?
Yeah, it's incredibly easy. And there's someone else was asking a question, so I'll answer your question a couple of different ways. One, if they're photographs, it's easy, right? Because you have the high-res version of the file. You send that to the printer. The printer tells you how big you can go, and then it's easy to do it that way. Quick side note. So literally, like, the massive news of the day is that Adobe released this new setting for Camera Raw today, in which you can put in just about any image and you can blow it up like 5 times the size. And they figured out this new like machine learning thing. Adobe did, and like the whole world's going nuts about it. So I figure I'll just leave that as a current event. But we have a gentleman who's a customer, and his full-time job has been photographing art for reproduction. So in terms of paintings and such, April's going to put a link to this post in the chat. You can read it, but it's really actually pretty easy. Constance, if you're going to sign up and become a customer, then all you do is you just upload it to our system. That's it. It's in there. And then if you get any orders, you can do an order any which way you like, right? Like if you're like, hey, I need samples, or hey, I need to outfit this Airbnb, then you would just get your special discounted pricing and order it. If you don't want to become a customer and you just want to do it on your own, I have a link to a site where you can upload and do it. It's integrated with one of our print partners. We usually just give it to people to test them out, or you could use a local one. That's the least of your worries. But what I think is interesting, I mean, it's completely one-off, because I've been doing hundreds of these, and you're the first person that says like, hey, I've got these Airbnbs that I'm renting, and I also love the beach. I mean, I went to school in San Diego, and I actually live in Newport Beach now. The rest of the office is in Texas, but I'm in Newport Beach, so I know the area well. What's interesting about the Airbnb example is, by shooting the local stuff, okay, that sort of gives you the opportunity to. They come and they have a vacation. Let's just say the Carlsbad house, right? They had such a blast in Carlsbad. They fell in love with the beach. They want to potentially leave with something that's going to remind them of the beach, right? What would be really interesting that you could do is, given you have the opportunity to do what we like to call hand-to-hand combat, meaning, you don't even need to put any signs up in the house saying, by the way, all the art's for sale. But when you confirm the bookings, I would just email the Airbnb renters and just say, oh, by the way, just to let you know, I'm a photographer. All the art in the house is mine. I sell it here, here, and here, but I give special discounts for any of my Airbnb clients. And so if you fall in love with any of it, just let me know. And, you get that language ready to go, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste every single solitary time. I think that would present a pretty interesting opportunity. And, that's a pretty decent little way, especially if you've got like a lot of guests in a year in, year out basis. I think it'd be a creative way to sell it.
I agree. And thank you for thinking along those lines, because that's kind of what I was thinking. Again, I'm just starting from scratch, so I'm learning it. But
yeah, step one to get it all printed out. I would highly. I'm just going to grab these here so I can show you. I really like metal and acrylic, both ready to hang. This one's a little bit thicker. This one, this is the metal one. This is the acrylic one, but ready to hang, really beautiful looking, sort of like the new, sorry, my green screen's going a little crazy today. It's kind of like the new sexy entrance into the market, as opposed to paper or even as opposed to canvas. Photographs look absolutely insane on these medias, and you can go just about any size. So I would strongly consider acrylic and metal for your wall, especially with the beach photos, but that's just my 2 cents.
Okay, so let me just reiterate.
Yep.
I really like that too. Yep. So that kind of art mixes really well, because I'm going to reclaim and recycle old couches and reupholster. The whole theme is recycle, upcycle.
Yep.
Old stuff, but putting some kind of newer stuff in, maybe like that, shiny and new, just kind of levels up the whole thing. So if I want to do that, then the operational part of it is I would be a member.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're really trying to build a business out of it and build the brand and everything else, then I would say you need us. If you're like, I'm just going to start by getting some prints made and putting them up on my wall, then I would just go and do that. I would go and do that locally and see if it's going to sell, right? Because really the biggest question you have to answer first is, will the work sell, right? Like, you need to determine that the work will actually sell. So what's step one of doing that? Get it printed, get it on the wall, email every single solitary guest, let them know that, all the works are available for discounted prices, and then, see if they inquire. If they inquire, then you're in business. If it starts moving well, then I think at that point you should probably say like, well, hey, am I gonna grow an art business out of this, right? At that point, you would need us, because then you would need a website. You need the ability to start marketing, and learning how to do all of that. Does that make sense? Oh, you muted yourself again, I believe, Constance. Yeah, I know. Okay, you did. Then you unmuted and you muted again. It's okay. But let me know if that sort of answers the questions or no.
Okay, so I just have a question. If I want to do a 10 by 5 and just blow it up, do you have the network to do just one piece?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So would it be worth it to me just, furnishing an Airbnb is like a giant.
Oh, trust me, furnishing anything is a giant pain in the butt.
Project.
Yeah.
So
what I'll do, here's what I'll say. So we have our print partners, okay, that we integrate with. We have the website, which you can use them directly. On the West Coast, it's Bay Photo. On the East Coast, it's a company called Graphic Dimensions. I will include a link in the chat. We'll email it to you after the fact. It's just ASF Prints. It's in the chat right now. April just put it in there. ASFprints.com. You can upload one of your photographs. Our machine will tell you, our software will tell you how big you can go. You can order a sample if you like. Decide from there. If you like it, you can go and order more of them. And as you furnish the thing out. That's what I would say.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Candace. Okay, Berlin, I see your hands up. Todd, I see your hands up. Greg was asking a bunch of questions in the chat first, so I'm going to unmute Greg, and then I will come back to you guys in order. So go ahead, Greg, unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've been examining you guys for 3 months.
Awesome. I'm sorry about the sheer volume of email that we send, which I know is ridiculous.
I know. I send you emails all the time.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's too much. Too much.
I'm a serious marketing professional, and I really respect what you're doing. You are great.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But I know I build websites. I do all kinds of stuff like that. But I've been, for 30 years, a serious oil painter. I've never shown anybody my paintings.
Okay.
I've had people come to my house and parties and offer me $3,000 to $5,000 for some of my paintings.
Okay.
And I've said, no, learn more about art. Exactly. But I'm about to, I want to go professional now.
Okay.
That's 60 to 80 works that I'm about to take serious photographs of.
Okay.
And I'm trying to say, okay, what's the best way to do this? I've been looking at drop shippers. I've been looking at people that, have stores and everything else. You're positioning yourself differently than many of them.
Yep. By design.
Because my impression is that you are saying, hey, I'm going to be your coach and manager, as opposed to just a site that's here.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a problem everyone has, right? Like, I know every single Soul Trade person on the Zoom call has an attention problem. They have a marketing problem. I know it, right? Because every customer I have, even the ones that are close to $1 million a year,
exactly,
they have marketing problems.
Yes, and I do serious drip marketing professionally, so I understand how to do it.
Yep.
But to me, it says, okay, that doesn't mean I don't need a coach.
No, 100% you do. I mean, you'll have some legs up in the sense that you understand how to get attention, right? You understand some of the capacities of marketing. So in terms of a cognitive load of learning some of this new stuff, it'll be easier for you than it will be for most.
No, I know it pretty well.
Yeah.
I've developed websites on multiple platforms. So I know Wix, I know Squarespace, I know GoDaddy. GoDaddy's horrible.
Yes. Agreed.
Etc. So I've got a couple of questions.
Yes.
Number one, you say, okay, you've got your website developer environment, which is great. And you've added things that are very specific to the interest group that we're all trying to target, which is wonderful. Which platform are you doing? Have you done the add-ons on?
So the whole thing's ground up, built by us, start to finish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because typically companies have 20 to 30 serious engineers going for 4 to 5 years to build such.
Yeah. So one, our CEO's coder, so that helps. He built the thing from scratch himself. We now have a team that maintains it and updates it and everything else. And he built it. He had a business before this where he learned all of his lessons the hard way. and the code base is just very new, robust, up to speed, and it was built completely modular fashion, so it's very easy to update and add things on and everything else. And it's been really, really fun, right? Because I've been doing marketing for a long time, and in marketing in software capacities for a long time, and it's like, most of our competition, because this, I realize this is a little nerdy, guys, but George or Greg knows his stuff, so I'm saying all of our competitors have an old code base, right? When you have an old code base, making course corrections is like turning a cruise ship. When you have a robust and modular code base, making a course correction is like turning a tiny little Boston whaler.
I've started 3 software companies.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. So the whole thing's on rails.
But that's a lot of code.
Yeah.
To enable to build a website. So
Yes.
It must be very, very focused and narrow, let me say, as to the features you're doing just aimed at this market. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Secondly, my next question is the economic relationship between us. It sounds like you want me to put in $1,000 to $2,000 up front, and then move on to your $50 a month platform. The $50 a month, that's fine.
Yeah.
For your additional features, I'm great with that. What am I getting from the $1,000 to $2,000 up front?
Yeah. So the easiest way to understand it is like, we're like a normal website company where you pay a monthly fee, same as all the rest of them. The reason that we don't stop there is because the website's not enough, right? Like all the rest of the website companies, the failure rate is so incredibly high. Why? Because no one has a website problem. You all have a marketing problem. And so we're like, how are we going to solve the marketing problem? That's what the Art Business University is. You pay a tuition to get in it, and the learning never stops. What is the learning? We have detailed what we call playbooks, step-by-step audio video guides to walk through all of the various different things that we recommend. Okay.
That's my impression.
That's
You're
number one.
basically saying, hey, we
It's
are
bigger.
going to be
Yeah.
your managers.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this week, do this. This
Yes.
week, do that. This next week, do that.
100%. But it's way more than that, because if you look at the stats on online education, and I don't care if you're talking about Kajabi or Masterclass or lynda.com or any of them, right? 35% of the people that buy those courses actually finish them. You can't just have do-it-yourself digital education. It's not enough. So we have the digital education, and then we split the customer base into 3 groups. If you have yet to sell $2,000 directly from your website, you're in group 1. If you sold between $2,000 and a much higher threshold that we don't publish, you're in group 2. If you're in the 3rd group, you're on a very high revenue basis directly from your website already, and we put you in a 3rd group. We have every single solitary week a Zoom session just like this with myself, members of my marketing team. We go over the playbooks. We go over the calendar, what you're supposed to be doing that week, and then we open it up for Q&A. So that happens nonstop, 50 weeks a year. So I think we take maybe 2 weeks off a year. In addition to that, I have tech support 6 days a week, including Saturdays, that's available on Zoom sessions for you to jump in and get anything unstuck. Not only do we support our own application, we support Facebook, Instagram, MailChimp, anything SEO or tech related. You can come on and say,
I deal with email drip marketing all the time. I use it. I'm literally doing emails to 20,000 names a month.
Yep.
So I know how to do this.
Yep.
And so I'm asking, okay, so that upfront payment, what is going on?
Yeah, so you're just that's your tuition fee to the Art Business University that pays for all the staff that are there to teach you and support you year in, year out, from now till as long as you're a customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that process will go on of you saying, hey, you should do this week.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life.
Straight up.
And that's why you're at $50 a month for your website, as opposed to $30 a month that I can get from Wix and the other people.
Exactly right.
And that's quite reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, we
I have no
looked
issue
at
with
it
that at all.
We looked at it, and again, like, Shopify, who I love, not a knock on Shopify, right? But they have a stat: 99% of Shopify store owners fail. Why? Because they have a marketing problem. And so in the art niche, it's the same thing. So really, we are figuring out a way to solve it. And to do that, you have to give people a calendar, what to do all year long. And it's not just a calendar. There's email copy in there when we're telling you to email that you copy and paste and change the taste. Then there's the teaching. Then there's the playbooks. Then there's everything that we do from a case study perspective. We're constantly running tests. We're coming back. We're teaching our group. Then it's all the specialists and the various different niches teaching inside there. Like, it goes to cover all of that. But yes, you are supported.
Which is cool.
Nonstop. Yeah. It's unique. No one else does it.
So I'd rather pay you $70 a month and not have to pay you $1,000 to $2,000 a month up front.
For sure. I totally get that. Look, it's not easy, and it doesn't make us like the easiest example for everyone. But I assure you, it's like the best thing about it is, and again, it sounds hyperbolic. I'm telling you, it's not. The more successful our customers are, the faster we grow as a company. The more money everyone makes, the more we get referred.
Understand.
So it's like this is how hard we've gone to solve it.
I totally understand. I don't want to deal, as I mentioned in the chat, with all the printing and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I want to be very narrow in what I do and have a partner that does all the rest of the stuff for me.
Yep.
And I expect you to make a contribution to yourselves from those efforts. So that's great. Here's my next question. How do I get my first, okay, let's say I work with you.
Yep.
I build the website.
Yes.
On your tools.
Yes.
How do I get my first registration?
Yeah, so combination of everything.
Assume my artwork is at least okay.
Yes. Well, yeah, you need to sell it first, right? Like, my concern for you in the situation that you're in is there's sort of a bar that we say, which is if you're just getting started, which you are, obviously I know you've been an artist for a long time, but you need to have sold some work to people not named mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends, okay, to strangers. Because the only real validation you can have is commerce, right? The exchange of dollars. So the fact that you have not done that, notwithstanding the fact that you got those offers back in the day, worries me a little bit, just because it would worry me if no matter who you were, right? Because you need to figure out whether or not it can sell. So what I might do is a step, in between going and setting up a complete website, putting all my pieces up and seeing whether or not it works, is actually trying to sell it in some sort of local capacity direct before you do that and see what that looks like. That's sort of the recommendation that I give. The analogy goes, we both want to be chefs, Greg and I, okay? I decide that I'm going to start a restaurant then. And I go down to the bank and I get a business plan. I write up a business plan. It takes me months. I go down to the bank, I get a loan. I open up the business entity. I go rent a place in town. I hang a sign out front. I hire my wait staff. I decorate all the tables, get a maitre d'. I open the restaurant. People come in and no one likes my food. Okay, well, I've just wasted a year and how much time figuring it out. Greg, on the other hand, went to Costco, got a roller cart, made Greg's tacos, put them on the roller cart, pushed them into an office building. By the time I was on even page 2 of writing the business plan, guess what? You now know your food will sell. If you don't, then if it doesn't, then maybe you move from tacos to burgers or whatever, right? But the point is that you want to get to market as soon as possible and get the validation that strangers actually do want to purchase what you are creating. If that's the case, nothing but green lights, start marketing. If for some reason what you have is not something that people want to buy, well, then you have to figure out another way of attacking it, of approaching it, right? So that's sort of the advice that we like to give in that capacity.
That's a very good point you're making.
Yeah.
And thank you. But how would you suggest I work with you or do something before I work with you to do that proof? Yeah,
so we're calling it the Art Validation Playbook, and we're actually working on it now, and we're going to give it away for free as a resource. In a pre-pandemic times, I would say you need to get a booth at a fair, at a show, at a local farmer's market, or set up a table on a busy corner, wherever it takes to get that work on a table, say you're selling it, and off you go. That was pre-pandemic advice, because it's obviously become a little bit more difficult to do that, to find these types of venues. So if you have any social following at all, you grab a phone, you turn the video camera live, you say, hey guys, it's Greg, I'm finally starting my art business. You rotate through a couple of pieces, you talk about them, you let them know what the price is, you say, send me a message, I take PayPal, Venmo, or check, and you try to sell it that way. And that's something you could do literally the minute you got off this phone with us.
So before I work with you, you're suggesting that's the appropriate process.
Yes.
Do validation and then come and work with you.
Yes.
Okay, that is Great advice. Thank you.
And by the way, how many businesses do you know that do something like that?
Oh, I've started 3 software companies. I know all about it.
Yeah, but I'm not saying like sign up and we'll help you get there. Like I don't want you to waste any time. I want you to see if the work will sell. If the work will sell, then you're in a much better position. You're not wasting any time on the marketing. But you got to know, right? You got to know.
Oh, absolutely. You're totally correct. Thank you so much for those comments. I really appreciate them, Patrick.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
Okay, it's going to go Todd, and then Berlin, your hand was up, and then it went down. And then I am going to go to George because George had his hand up too. So Todd, you're up next. Go ahead, Todd. I'll let you know when you hit the unmute. Yep, gotcha.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, cool. Hey, I'm revisiting. I actually was hanging out with you guys about 6 months ago.
Yeah, you look familiar,
in my parents'
actually.
basement.
Yeah, you look familiar.
Yeah, I'm back in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
After the pandemic. I was in Massachusetts for a while. Anyway, I'm kind of at the point where this time last year I did a I have a little studio. It's kind of a nice little spot to be in. A lot of money around here.
Mm-hmm.
I got my own little dark room.
Okay.
I got a nice space to show things here.
Mm-hmm.
Had a show last year. Pandemic hit end of February. It didn't go that well, obviously, because just everything was kind of going crazy. But I got everything here. I got all the art, everything here. I to display everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I'm having trouble reaching out to people that aren't my friends.
Yes.
I need to go to that new level of things. And it sounds like what you guys have going on. If I wanted to have a show at the beginning of May,
mm-hmm.
and I started right now, you guys would help me market that show, go through everything, help me with some kind of like checklist. Is that
is that what you guys do? It's an appropriate way to say it for sure. Yeah. I mean, how you have you
like
sold,
some kind of marketing checklist or whatever it is?
Yeah. Have you sold work for years and years prior to this, or is this like your first time like actually getting the work out there?
No. I've sold some work before. Mm-hmm. It's not first time, and I've actually had this would be my third show here at my studio.
Okay.
I had another one before that was pretty successful. Just wasn't in a pandemic.
Yes.
But it's been tough to go to the other level, and as a photographer, I've been doing more editorial work and all that kind of stuff lately. But I'm so freaking done with starting over again when it comes to marketing myself. When it comes to that world,
I know
it's just I'm just done with it. So I got my darkroom. I'm a black and white darkroom printer. I'm pretty good at it at this point. Not many people are doing it at this point either.
That's for sure.
Pretty authentic art form. And I just wanted to figure out. So if I go through you guys, that was great that Greg asked that question earlier about like what's going to cost after the initial investment.
Yeah.
When I'm fine with that initial investment, I understand that's like a lot of startup costs. There's a lot of like initial
it just goes to pay for the education
of a house. You can't heat a house until you have the house.
Well
said.
Start
keep throwing heat in it, and $50 a month isn't bad.
Yeah.
So in order to establish this, so within 2 months, I can probably get a good show up, and you guys would help me. I guess make some kind of like.
I did. I've got
marketing
so many hacks for you. I got so many hacks for you. It's crazy. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you need.
And so you'll get into another tier. Like how do you guys? How do you get out of Instagram and Facebook
it's
to
just
other
digital
worlds
marketing.
where other people look at it?
It's just digital marketing. There's trust me when I say this. There's no secret. There's no secret sauce to it. It's doing the right stuff. We help you doing the right stuff. Only focusing on the high ROI, return on investment marketing activities. We're good at this. We have the data. We know what it is. And then it's just doing the work consistently. Do you know what no artist ever does? They don't ever do the damn work consistently. And I would even go as far to say, like, everyone thinks like, this is going to be my time. I'm going to market. I'm so excited. You do it for like a month and a half. You don't get the results because no one told you that it doesn't happen in a month and a half. And then you quit. And it's like, no. And it's not even like, everyone thinks it's like hours based. It's not even about the hours. Like, Todd, tell me you can only give me 3 hours a week. Give me 3 hours a week for 52 weeks. And let me show you what I can do with that, right? It's like, that's how you move mountains, it's a consistency. So, yes, we would help you get more attention. Yes, sadly, you do still need to use Facebook and Instagram. Right now, that's where the eyeballs are. We have to go where the eyeballs are. But we have a whole bunch of strategies. And especially, early on, once you're getting started, in addition to what it takes to get signed up, the only additional fee you have is we have some hacky creative marketing techniques that center around print giveaways. Okay, We have some interesting techniques, but those are like 40 or 50 bucks a piece, right? And sometimes even less than that if you're doing it on paper print. So it's inexpensive, and you use that to generate leads, and we teach you how to do all of that. So that would be it. And you just need to get it all up, start marketing like crazy, build your followership. You're going to have the show. As soon as the show's done, you're going to turn on your phone, turn on your computer, and have a live art show in the studio for everyone that missed it. And you're going to get the double. You're going to get the double, which is a killer way to do it. So we'll teach you all that.
Okay, so you would consider yourself somewhat in a way like, because this is what I need. I need a trainer.
Yes.
I have a big competition coming up in 2 months.
Yes.
I need a trainer to help me go through it because I just, I sleep in a lot and blah, blah, blah. I need someone to like crack the whip on me. So you guys would be cracking the whip on in order to direct you. As long as I have my shit together too.
Correct.
Obviously.
Correct. 100%.
You guys would be there to like, to give me a call and say, hey, you didn't do this or whatever it is.
100%.
Okay, that, and also what about my other digital presence, I guess, when it comes to like my website, all that? Is this a situation where I'm get rid of my website that I have now?
Yes.
And just go with the artist storefront website? Yeah. So I mean, get rid of all the other kind of things.
You have the option to do whatever you want to do, right? But the question you have to ask yourself is your current website selling any art? If it's selling any art, it's really helping you, or if it's not, then no. You just take the domain, and let's say it's Todd Sanchioni. Close? Sanchioni? Yeah. What is it really, though?
Sanchioni.
What is it really?
It's Sanchioni.
Sanchioni. Okay. So let's say you have Todd Sanchioni. Yeah, SanchioniArt.com. You point it to your old website. You just point it to the Art Storefronts one, and it's the same URL.
Yeah.
So anyone that has links or knows who you are just goes to your Art Storefronts install.
It just goes to that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then with Instagram and all that, and Facebook, am I going to start a whole new?
No. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we're going to take what you have there. We're going to optimize it, and then we're going to start hitting it.
Okay. And now, should I just email someone about getting a personal meeting about stuff?
Yeah. So what you do is just request a demo. April will throw a link in the chat, and one of my guys will set up a call.
Already, but yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, done. Then they'll call you. They'll set it up. They'll take you through the whole demo. You just need to get up, get running, get rolling. But I'll tell you, I don't know if I hammered you on this last time, but the gallery, it's the 1-2 punch of the art actually hanging in a gallery and then doing the live art show in that capacity after the fact. Have you seen me rant on that at all?
Yeah, no, I actually was going to say, as soon as I'm off this call, I'm kind of sick of looking at you because I've been watching your videos for the last 2 days. And I mean, I'm not saying that I don't think you should take offense to that. Just you have a lot of good information.
Oh, dude.
And I've been listening to you a lot.
Zero taken. I'm sick of looking at me. My wife is sick of looking at me. Trust me. Trust me. But I just want to show you this just as to highlight it as a point. So, early on, I would always like grab customers, right? And I would run my various different marketing case studies. And this painter here, I'm going to show him all the time because he was a really good friend early on, and he basically turned over the keys to his castle and just said, do whatever you want, right? But check this out, okay? So in the middle of the pandemic, he managed to still get a show at this, because it was his place in Canada. And so the show had already taken place at this point, okay? Van Gogh-Rama, that was the name of the show. But I was like, Matthew, what we're going to do, because no one can travel, not everyone could come to this, is we are going to run the damn live art show inside the gallery the minute that it's done, right? And so I think like, oh shoot, I lost it. So 50% of the pieces I think sold ahead of time, or maybe 60%, and there's still 40% left. So look, the show is hung in here, and I've got him just walking through, talking about the pieces at the show, whether they were sold or not, right? And this went live to his YouTube account, and he's got, what does he have on YouTube? He's got 9,500 subscribers, because I don't want to get into it, but he's got a lot of subscribers. To his Instagram account, like you can see and we'll teach you how to do this from start to finish. But if you look, you see how he's got the earbuds in? So I'll just teach you right now. Earbuds in, somebody's holding the phone's putting them live on Instagram. Someone else is walking with the laptop camera, okay? And the laptop camera is taking it live to Facebook, his personal Facebook page, his business Facebook page, and YouTube all at the same time. People from all over the world were watching. They were leaving comments. They were saying like, I want to place an offer on this. They were contacting him after the fact. And so you're going to go and hang the show. You're going to publicize the hell out of it. We're going to teach you how to get as many local butts and seats as possible to this thing. But in addition to that, here's a whole nother bite at the apple, right? Like the only thing you need is decent Wi-Fi connection in the studio, and you're in business. So that's what I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that's good info.
Yeah. I'll show you. It's a killer way to do it. I'm just like, it's the future of selling art, these live art shows. I'm so bearish on it. It's unbelievable. But yes, we'll teach you.
No, that's great. That's good. It's good info. Okay, I'll move on to setting up this appointment, and I'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, man. Yep.
Okay, Berlin, I know you had your hand up earlier, but I'm going to get George, and then I'm going to circle back to you, Berlin. You'll be next. Okay, George, go ahead. And you'll have to hit that mic icon bottom left-hand corner. Yep, gotcha.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey.
Yeah, I want to know, before joining you, where are the clients coming from? I mean, I have a website. I will build a website with you. But where will the clients coming from? I don't get the...
Yeah. So we teach you to market all year long, and we get you working on your market, and it's a combination of absolutely everything. Obviously some people know who you are already, and so they'll be searching for you, they'll find you, they'll get on your email list that way. We'll teach you to grow the email list with a whole bunch of various different things to do. We're going to teach you to market on Facebook. We're going to teach you to market on Instagram. George, you own it all. It's your website, your URL, your customers. The money goes directly into your bank account. We just teach you to grow your business, right? So you have to learn how to attract attention, and we teach you how to do that. And so they come from a whole bunch of different angles, areas, but it just all comes down to marketing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but as far as I have a website, it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
I will make a website with you. I will have to build that website. Where will the clients coming from?
They'll come from Facebook. They'll come from Instagram.
I don't have Facebook. I don't have Instagram.
Yeah. I understand where your mind is on it, George. You have the reason your current website doesn't bring in any business is because you're not doing any marketing. You have to do marketing.
Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah. I'm not doing any marketing.
I know. So that's what you got to start doing. And it's like you start doing the marketing, and that's how you attract the fan base, and that's how you start getting eyeballs, attention, and that's how you end up making sales.
Marketing through you, through our art's storefront.
Yes. You'll have to do some work, but we'll teach you how to do it. And you start in, George, and you don't ever stop.
Another thing. Well, you will give me a website.
Yes.
But and some features like framing, etc.
Yeah.
But what are the basic tools? I mean, I can give or make a workshop like this one in my page or something like that, or I have tools. I mean, general tools to make many things.
Yes, exactly. You can do just about anything. Like you can have product pages, you can have landing pages, you can have blog posts, you can do anything you can do with any other website. You can do with our website. The selling features are better. The way that it displays your art is better, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that does there. But again, you don't have a website problem. Yes, you need to build a website. Yes, you need to get it up and have everything ready to go. But then the big problem is start working on the marketing, start doing it consistently, get new attention, new eyeballs, and the art will sell from there. I imagine you've sold a ton of art over your career already, right?
Trying to sell. I have some other Saatchi and a couple of other places. Really, well, it's like a game. You go, people, you meet people, etc. It's okay, it's good, but I don't sell. That's the point. Yeah. So I still cannot figure out how will I sell through a webpage. My webpage, how will it go selling just through marketing?
Yes. I mean, it's pretty expansive, but we'll help you get your Facebook page set up. We'll help you get your Instagram account set up. We'll have you start running print giveaways. We'll have you start sending emails on a regular basis. We'll have you doing all of that consistently all year long. And George, it's essentially the marketing, you go out and make noise. The noise gets attention. These people come to your website. They're like, I like what George has to offer here. I'm going to get on his email list. You send emails. You have sales when the time is right. And that's how you run an art business. That's how you grow an art business in today's day and age. It's how you run any business. Like, you have to do marketing to get the word out. People are not going to just come in. If you're looking for situations where you don't have to do any of the work, I mean, that's the art gallery model, right? Like, you know, the art gallery model is a 50-50 split. And the problem is that you don't keep any of the data on your collectors. And so you can never market to them again. That's why we exist. We don't think that's a fair relationship. So, but it is a way to go. So yes, it's marketing. I know you're like, wait a minute, tell me specifically. I could tell you all the various different things easily, but it's just marketing big picture, and you have to do it consistently all year. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't worry, George. If you're willing to commit to doing the work, we have every ability to get you there. But what you can do, George, is if you request a demo, you get on the phone with the guys. They'll walk you through some of the tactical stuff step by step. But just take my word for it. It's like, you got a whole bunch of stuff that you need to learn how to do. You need to start doing it consistently, and that's it. We will teach you. Here's what it is. Here's what it is. Here's what it is. That's what I would say. Thanks, George. All right, Berlin, you're up. No driving and Zoom in Berlin.
I know. Actually, it's perfect. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it's actually perfect timing. I just parked.
Okay, good.
Perfect timing.
Good.
So my question is, first and foremost, I'm what you might consider an in-between artist.
Okay.
I was professional at one point. 10 years later, I stopped doing it for about 10 years or so. Mm-hmm. And now I'm trying to get back into it.
Okay.
So every contact I had in the past is kind of different. It's mainly friends and family at this point that are very impressed by my work. My problem was, or still is that timing. Mm-hmm. Having enough time to invest on the logistics, like you just mentioned, the advertising, the promoting, the website, and so on and so forth. I'm more of the creative point of it. And I guess my question is this. It's almost like I need an art agent to handle all of that while I focus on the art itself.
Yes.
And what do you suggest would be preferably the right package for something like that? And how much, because you're not going to come to me directly, how much time, like in hours and weeks or whatever, do I need to set aside from not creating to actually promoting and helping out you guys to help me become successful?
Yeah, there's literally, it's the hardest question to answer, period, because there's, you know, the takeaway is, it's like, you know, when my mom goes to her financial advisor and you ask, like, am I going to have enough money for retirement? And the financial advisor's like, Mrs. Shanahan, I don't have a crystal ball here. I don't know what's going to happen in the markets, right? Like, everyone's path is a little different, right? Some people have the niche that just takes off and it goes bonkers. Some people have to work at it a little bit harder for years and years. So that being said, it's less about the hours that you give me and more about how you do them consistently, right? Like, if you start off and you say, like, look, I have 4 hours a week to throw at this thing. That's it. I'm saying, okay, Berlin, give me 52 weeks of 4 hours a week, right? And then we'll reevaluate and we'll see where we're at. So the consistency is the most important thing, full stop. You know, we live in a weird world, right? Because if you rewind to, you know, before the pandemic days, you had a lot of people that are just like you that would just do the show and Thayer circuit on the weekend, right? They would create, they wouldn't do any marketing at all, do the show and Thayer circuit, and they built a decent business that way, right? But it requires you being in a booth, spending the fees, staying in a hotel if it's not in your town, all of those various different things. So now we're in this world where, you know, especially for the short term, you have to do the digital thing. You have to get the ball rolling. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, and there's just no shortcut. I don't know any other way that you get attention and you actually get the work out there, right? Like, it's either you upload to an online gallery like Marketplace, like, you know, Fine Art America or Etsy or Redbubble. Good luck getting discovered on those. It takes a long time. Very few people making any money doing that. Or get yourself into the 50-50 split, don't keep your customer data gallery, right? Or do the shows in Thayer circuit, which, as we know, is not really there. So the other thing that you're left with is essentially digital marketing, whatever else you have at your disposal. It's not going to happen overnight for you. The time is just about what you can put into it, but you absolutely have to do it, right? It's the one source of attention to you that you can never have taken away from you, right? There's so many people that came like a year ago on these calls and they're like, I had this amazing business. but I never kept any email addresses. I didn't keep my customer data, and now I've got nothing, right? You don't ever want to be in a position for that. The fact that you were doing this art thing 10 years ago, right? What if you would have kept all of the emails, all the attention, and marketed consistently, even just on the back burner between those 10 years and now, right? Where would that business be? So you've got the horizon. You know you're going to be an artist for the rest of your life, Berlin. You ain't changing that. It's like, you guys don't go through midlife crises where all of a sudden you want to become an accountant and you're never coming back, right? Like, you guys are artists for life. So you have to come to terms with like, okay, I do need to market myself. I do need to grow this thing. I do need to get further than family and friends. And you just start in on doing it and you see how it goes. Like, there'll be course corrections along the way, of course, in terms of hours. But, as things start selling for you, what we usually find is the motivation level just continues to go up and up and up and up and up, right? From there. So it's less about how many hours. It's more about how many hours consistently.
Okay. So in harmony with that, because I know they talked about the initial investment and then the monthly investment. So what would be the best initial investment for a person who's not a beginner, who's not green to the art world, so to speak, but I want to come out strong and successful. I want to make sure I have everything at my disposal. I don't want to have to come back and say, well, we need an extra money if you want to try this and that.
Yeah, totally.
I need
totally understand.
So what would you suggest would be the...
It's a personal question. I'm going to say it a couple ways. It's a personal question, and you'd have to make the call based on, where you are in terms of resources. What we find, and again, like, it's impossible for me to say this without feeling like cynical or whatever, but here's what we find, and I'm telling you it's the truth. The larger the investment somebody makes, and I'm not telling you to make the largest one, you don't have to do that in the slightest, the more it creates a burn the boat mentality in the customer. Before, with every other website solution, trial plan, $29 a month, $39 a month, all you're doing, you can just go from one website solution to the next, not do your marketing, not worry about it because the dollar commitment is low enough that you're not really going to care on a monthly basis, right? What I find with us is the people that invest in the bigger plans, because they've outlaid that money, they're like, okay, I've burned the boats, right? I've burned the boat. There's no way I'm going back to the other shore. I'm making it this time. I am actually going to work consistently on my marketing and doing it. So I see that as a positive on the upside. On the downside, though, you can upgrade at any point in time. You can upgrade at any point in time. So, if it's a financial situation where you're in it, like, do the bottom plan. Do the bottom plan and get in. Just whatever it takes to commit to giving me those hours 52 weeks a year. And I'm serious. You're laughing at me, but I'm serious. Like, you can't miss. Like, you got to put the work in, right? Like, that first year, it's going to suck. First year is always the hardest. It sucks. But you got to get the ball rolling, It's like you got to get the thing warmed up. You got to get the machine spun up, and then it starts getting easier and easier and easier. So I think it's less about how much you invest in it, Berlin. Whatever it's going to take to keep you motivated to give me those hours. That's what I would say.
Okay. Sounds good. And finally, I have a couple of sites that like Art Archive. I'm not sure if you heard of that one. And Art Major, which is a European-based site similar to a store. So would it make, once I get involved with you guys, and I think I've heard this already, it would be more advantageous to get rid of those and focus on the plan and package that you provide.
Yeah. I mean, the way we look at it early on is like, ask yourself, are those things creating any revenue for you at all? If the answer is no, get rid of them immediately. That's what I would say. And the reason I say that is oftentimes because they're older, more established sites, when somebody puts Berlin, Casa Major into a search engine, what's going to come up first? And if it's those other sites and not the site that you now have, that's not something we want, right? Like, a lot of people are on like Fine Art America, and they'll come in and they'll be like, I've had my site for 3 months with you, and the Fine Art America results are first. It's like, Fine Art America is like a 15-year-old company, right? That's been in Google forever. You're not going to snatch that result back from them. Get the work off of there. You're not selling anything anyway, right? And then now that you have a website that you like go on that. So it's a good way to go. I mean, like, look, we want you to own it all, right? Like, we want you to own it all. And so I always say, it doesn't matter if it's one of these other websites or a marketplace or a gallery relationship. If you have any revenue source that's paying, keep it. We're not getting rid of it, right? Because I do not want to turn off that revenue. But if it's not creating anything for you, then all it's doing is spreading whatever link juice you might get on your name. And I would rather you own it all on a domain you control. That's my 2 cents on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Covered? Okay.
Yeah, we're covered. We're good. We're
all
good. I'll be getting in contact with you very soon.
All right. Okay. You're now clear to drive again, Merlin. Thanks, dude. Those are good questions. I enjoyed that. Yeah, great questions today. So I think that's it in terms of raised hands. Did I get everybody? Did I miss anything in the chat? I don't know. Tim, I appreciate that feedback on that's how you sold your first piece. Gotta do that, right? It's so important to do that. One thing I know too is I do believe we're having a sale that goes till the end of the month, and I think they're giving away 6 free months with any plan that you might sign up for. So something to be aware of if you're serious, if you are looking to get signed up. Yeah, Dory. I know Dory said something about coaching. Do you feel like I covered the coaching thing? I'll unmute you, Dory. I know you had a question, and then I'll grab you again, George, too. Don't worry. Do you want to unmute, Dory? I don't know if you do or if you don't. If you're still there, I undid your mute, Dory. If you want to come on and say, yep, there, gotcha.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I'll be really brief.
Yeah, no problem.
I've sold 70% of my work in my lifetime, but
okay.
It's never been through a website.
Yes.
It's never been through Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm getting pretty frustrated with the time factor, the fact that I can be in my studio, but I don't want to spend a ton of time on marketing, but I know I have to do it.
Yeah.
But no one ever has coached me on that.
Yeah.
And that's what I need. I know exactly that I need that.
Yeah.
And I just need to talk to somebody about it. And I did talk to Matt already.
Yes.
And I would love to have a one-on-one just to, talk to someone to see what their take might be on where I am in my life right now, as far as selling my work.
How Dory, how did you go about it before the pandemic and everything else? Were you doing fairs and shows, or were you in galleries, or how'd you sell it?
Galleries, yes. Galleries, shows, and just word of mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm a teacher, so I'm an art instructor, illustrator, and so I have a lot of contacts. But that's another thing. I don't have all these people that I can target on a regular basis and say, hey, this is my recent work and I want you to see it. And I know that that's what you have to do.
Yes, it is.
It's just, I need help.
Yes. We're especially custom suited for you. And it's sad, right? Because it's almost like, I hear you do it in your voice, and it's almost like the Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Like, okay, I know I've got a problem. I know I need help. I love that you're saying it. And in many ways it sucks, right? It's totally terrifying. And we have a number of customers that are in your similar situation where it's like, oh God, I don't want to do the shows and fairs even when it comes back again. I know I should have been keeping email addresses the whole time. I know I should have been actively marketing growing attention that I own, but it's like, really, especially right now in today's day and age, and especially with as many galleries closed, like, I don't know what the alternative is. I honestly don't know what the alternative is. Like, how are you going to go about keeping that business going and growing if you don't do it? So, I love that you've come to terms with that. I think it'll be probably easier than you think, just because you have as many years history as you do. Once you learn to start getting the word out and doing a little bit of marketing, it's going to be easier for you to get there. Moreover, we don't maybe necessarily publish this as much, but I don't care, Dory, if you are selling more of your work, or if we teach you how to create teaching classes that you do via Zoom and start selling that as a product, right? Like, I might look into maximizing and potentially attempting to leverage your ability to teach too. And we have some customers that are doing extremely well teaching people to paint. Okay. We have customers that are doing extremely well teaching various different aspects of like retouching and everything else. And so, really what you have is a business, right? And we want to create the opportunities for as many different revenue sources as possible. So I do really encourage you to contemplate that. Might be a fit, might not, but everyone's doing online education these days from everywhere. So you might have a great opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done with that. In fact,
you are done with it. Okay.
Zoom is not my thing. I'm more interested in the bohemian time in my studio.
I don't blame you.
But somebody just called me, and here's an example of how I've blown opportunities. Mm-hmm. Somebody just called me to do a visual online show. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do it, but that is a niche. That's an opportunity for me, not only to sell my work,
yes,
but to have a website where if anyone saw my work at that show,
yes,
they would know how to buy my work on my website, because I don't sell anything on my website.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I need the marketing tools to do that.
You do, yeah.
Because I know my work will sell.
You've been selling it your whole life, so.
I got to get the brand going.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So that's where you'll come in.
Yep, we'll help you, Dory.
Okay.
Thanks. I love that you're doing the live art show. And so just a pointer in the meantime for the live art show, just have your CTA. CTA stands for call to action. Okay, don't worry about the terminology. Have your way of how they're going to contact you when you have this show very, very clear and concise. Okay, I recommend you practice it a little bit. Say, if you're interested at all in my work, just send me an email. Here's what it is, right? Or if you're interested at all in my work, text me, right? And put your phone number there, right? I would probably even do that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even put a long email. I would just probably say, as that live art show is going, hey guys, if you're at all interested in any of the pieces, here's my phone number. Just send me a text. I'd love to set up a private showing, a private viewing, whatever you might like to do. I take PayPal, Venmo, or check. And just say that a couple of times throughout the thing. Make it stupid easy for them to get on the phone with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't think of those things.
No, I know. Trust me, I know. And
we don't think of the easy way. We always think of the stupid way.
Yeah. So Dory, I'm going to give you one more, because this is case in point, and this is for you too, George. So someone contacted Dory, and they're like, Dory, we love your work. We know who you are. We want you to do a live art show. Will you do the show? So another perfect example of where marketing comes in. So what we would teach Dory if she was a customer is I would say, Dory, we already have a playbook for this that's going to show you how to do this. I want you to get one of your works that's an original, print it up. It's going to be on canvas, let's just say. And it's going to be this size. And what Dory's going to do at the start of the art show is she's going to go, just to let everyone know, to make my live broadcast, my show a little bit more fun as a way to get back, I'm going to be giving away such and such size canvas print. Now, something like this would normally retail for $575 in stores. I'm going to give it away for free. Now, to get it, you've got to get on my email list. And at the end of the show, I'm going to pick one winner out of the hat, and I will ship you this free thing, right? And so we do an iteration of that, and we could talk about how it would look in the background and everything else. But what will happen at the end of the show, and especially as they continue to play it after the fact, is Dory will emerge with 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 emails, depending on how big of a show it is. I don't know how big it is. She's now got 50, 60, 70, 80 people on an email list, and we're going to teach her to email them one a week, talk about what she's doing, show some photos inside of her studio, talk about a piece that's hanging in a customer's house, and she's going to, just by that one marketing activity, generate some attention, have the print giveaway. There's a whole bunch of other little tricks that we throw in there like that, and it's just about how many of those you do a year, right? How many of those things can you do a year and get in the water? And that's the game. That's what you need to do. You need a list of people that like your work, and you need to be growing it, and people will continue to buy art from you, Dory, for the rest of your life, next 20 or 30 years, right? Like, they will still be coming back. So that's the game.
So you have to have enough prints. Like, if you want like 300 people to contact you, you have to have 300 prints?
No. Free prints? You are just going to let people know that as a fun way to make the show interesting, you are going to pick a name out of a hat and one person gets the print. But you're going to use the print as an incentive for people to get on your list, right? So everyone that's watching the show is going to be like, I want to win that. where do I put my email in the box? And they're all art fans. And so this stands to reason a very good group of people that you would want their email address, right? So yeah. That's the ballgame.
Okay. I got it. Okay. Yeah, I know. This is a good tactic. So thank you.
Yeah. My pleasure, Dor. We got lots of we can absolutely help you. Okay, George, you had another question. Go ahead. And I see yours in the chat, Melissa. I'll get to you too.
Yeah. Do you focus in any of your clients? I mean, for example, how to price your artworks, how to select your artworks, how to focus on in the good work you can sell and to discard the bad work you will not sell. All that.
Yep, we do. We everything from root to shoot. Like not only how to price, right? Because one of the big things that we'll teach you is how to run a sale, right? And a sale has a discount, some percentage off, and has scarcity, i.e. the sale ends Friday. Everyone does that. Right. A lot of artists like push back at me on that. It's like the only companies I know that don't run sales are Tiffany's and Dolce & Gabbana. Someone else told me Hermes too. Other than that, every other institution in the entire world runs sales. So we teach you how to run sales, okay? So because so much of selling art online is knowing the right times of year when to have the sale, okay? And we'll talk about those. Obviously, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the big ones. And then really, it's just like normal marketing, sale. Normal marketing, sale. Normal marketing, sale. And that's the whole ballgame, right? All year long. And so we have you price your work consistently a little bit higher such that you have the margins to bring the price down a little bit to create the incentive to sell, right? So we teach you how to do that. We teach you how to have a proper amount of price point diversity in your store, meaning so many artists screw up on this. They only put their originals up, or they only put their commissions up, and the only items in the store start at $1,200 or $1,500 or $2,000. Well, you've got a lot of customers that can't afford that, right? Which is why we have all these different various products. You need to have price points for people that are just getting started, starting at 75, 85, 95 to like 150, because you want to get that customer in the door no matter what. There's people that are not going to be able to afford to buy an original from you right now. It might take them 5 years. Okay, fine. Give them something to sell now. We'll sell them a print now. We'll market to them for the next 5 years. And then they bought their first big home and they're like, I want to go back and see George, get a couple of his pieces, right? So we'll teach you the variation in price point, which is extremely, extremely important. We'll make sure that you try to have the right balance of products in your store between originals, between commissions, between the prints. And so, yes, we advise you on all of that stuff. It's all very important.
Also, I had to synchronize the art world and the marketing, because I know nothing about marketing. So the idea I have of art, of photography is my idea, but I had to get into another world. So why someone is coming to buy my photographs and not if they're not coming now?
Yes. Yeah.
And another thing, I don't live in this state, so I'm living in Europe. So how difficult or how easy will it be to make all this business from here?
Yeah. So the time zone difference will be a little screwy sometimes. If you plan to sell the majority of your work directly into the United States, then I think when you get orders, you'll want to sort of split the orders, right? Like if you're printing your photographs, you let our printers handle it in the U.S. They'll handle any of the U.S. orders. But for your European orders, you should probably get a local printer and sort those domestically so that you're not paying for the thing to have to fly over the ocean. But we could work through those situations and see what it all looks like, right?
Will all your marketing work in Europe?
Oh yeah. It's marketing's just marketing, right? Like what country in Europe are you in?
Sorry?
What country?
What country? I'm living in Portugal now.
You're living in Portugal right now.
Yeah, right.
But would you do all the marketing in English, or would you need to be doing it in multiple languages?
English is okay.
Yeah. As long as you're marketing.
But it's good.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the point is, you're marketing in the States. You're working with mostly in the States. So how?
There's very little difference. I mean, there's some. Like WhatsApp is extremely popular in Europe and everywhere else, right? It's not quite as big in the US. And so there's some little differences there in terms of like applications and everything else, but pretty much every one of our customers is trying to sell worldwide right from the gates, right? And so the marketing is just the marketing. The marketing is really, It's just a way to get attention, right? The marketing is like no different than the cooking, right? Like there's fundamentals that you need to know to make a great meal in the kitchen. It doesn't matter if you're making that in Portugal or if you're making that in the United States or you're making it in South America, right? It's like knowing what to do in the kitchen, right? That makes an incredible meal that you can put on someone's plate. So that's the nature of the marketing. There will be some things that you'll need to do a little bit differently because you are in Europe, but by and large, not many.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, George. Are you Portuguese to begin with?
No, not very Portuguese. I'm more Italian than Portuguese.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say they didn't sound like a Portuguese accent to me.
You speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What you want?
Buenos días.
Yeah, buenos días.
Good.
¿Quiere hablar en español? George, ¿está bien conmigo?
¿Hablas español bien o?
Yeah.
I'm Spanish.
Más o menos.
Right.
It's better than my Portuguese.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's mine too. Right?
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you, George, and I appreciate the comments.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Melissa's asking, does art storefronts collect commissions on customers' art sales to customers? There's various different plans in terms of the commission. There is commission sales. They're low. I'm not exactly sure what the rates are, Melissa, and there's like I said, it's a little bit different for different plans. But yes, I know that they do. Yeah, really good session today, though. I really enjoyed that. Fantastic, you guys. Thank you so much for your attention. And we do run 3 of these guys a week. So if you need to come back and see another one, you can certainly do that. And let's be honest. I mean, how relentlessly do I email you and run ads? You guys are going to see me anyway. It's just nonstop because, we're good at the digital marketing thing. So I'll see you again in some future videos. But anytime you're watching one of these in the social media, literally anytime you have a question at all about anything, leave me a comment. I see all of them. My team sees all of them. Would love to reply. Love to answer any questions that you guys have. And I hope everyone has just literally a fantastic week. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for attending. I'll see you guys later.